If one day you suddenly... I went on a first date the other night, and everyone really...
high. I'm not quite sure what's happening. The technology doesn't seem to be behaving as it normally does. I'm not sure what's happening to the technology here, but anyway, I'll assume it's working. So I was a registered medical practitioner in Perth, Western Australia for 53 years. First of all, a hospital doctor, and then for many years a suburban family doctor. There had been no medical school in Western Australia, so we were short of doctors and we did everything. But what seemed to be most important to me in the end was mental health. I came to conclusion as a result of 500,000 consultations, hospital and home visits, helping to bring 800 babies into the world, and doing many appendectomies and tonsillectomies and broken bones, and that what was most important, the 5 most important things to have a good life were, first of all, to be mentally healthy, secondly, to have good relationships, enough good relationships, thirdly, to have a strong immune system. Our immune system is managed by over 20 chemicals produced in our brain called endorphins, and our immune system fights infections, allergies, inflammation, autoimmune diseases and cancers. The fourth thing was to develop the habit of smiling as often as possible. There's no faster way to start to feel better than to smile. Smiling is so important. We knew that we smiled when we feel good because the 25 feel-good brain chemicals were normal or high. But what we hadn't known until recently was that when we smile or laugh, our brain produces even more happy chemicals. So it's important to smile and laugh as much as possible. And the 5th important thing for having a good life was to have no addictions. And what became apparent to me was that there was never going to be enough mental health professionals to do all the work that was needed for all the people that needed help with their mental health and their addictions. So I became very interested in solving that problem. The problem that there was never going to be enough mental health care professionals to give all the people that needed help all the help that they needed. Many people got no help with their mental health problems, especially often some of the worst people with the worst mental health problems, and nobody seemed to get enough help. So what were we going to do about that? How could we solve that problem? I decided in the end that there were three things that were needed. First of all, we needed more tools for helping with mental health. Secondly, people needed to be able to do self-help. And thirdly, they needed to be able to start to work on their problems as soon as they started, not years and years later when they'd created many more problems. So, tools. Everything we do with tools. No, that's an exaggeration. Most things we do, we have tools. If there's not a good tool to do something, somebody makes a good tool. In the kitchen, in the office, in the factory, on the farm, everywhere, we use tools. I'm old enough, I'm very old actually, old enough to remember when there were only two tools in the kitchen. One was a big tin dish that you washed your dishes and forks and knives and plates and cups in, and the other was a wood stove that you had to light every morning and keep putting wood on to keep it burning to cook things and to boil the kettle with. But today we have many tools in the kitchen. There's gas, there's electricity, there's running water, there's refrigerators, there's washing machines, there's mixers and grinders and electric carving knives. And I'm old enough to remember when the most sophisticated tool in the office was a little typewriter. Wow, we've come a long way since then. But not in mental health. In mental health, the two main tools are still medicines and talk therapy, and both of those tools have great weaknesses. Medicines has a great weakness. The people who would benefit from medicines want medicine that works fast, makes them better, and they can stop taking. But the people who make medicines want troubled people to stay on as much medicine as possible for as long as possible, and if possible to never get well fast enough to be able to stop taking medicines. The commonest mental health problem is anxiety worry disorder, and all the treatments for worry, anxiety disorder are addictive. Originally it was the barbiturates, and there were many barbiturates, but they were all addictive. And then it became Valium, Seropax, Mogadon, Xanax, and they were all addictive. It took me a long time to find something that was only mildly addictive and to mix that with two other medicines to make calm fast, a combination of baclofen, mirtazapine and microdose naltrexone that calms people and is not addictive. So medicines had the big problem that so many were addictive. The three main medicines for ADD are addictive. That's Ritalin, dexamphetamine and Adderall, all addictive. So they could only be prescribed by specialists, which created all sorts of problems because family doctors were not allowed to prescribe those addictive medicines. And if you're not allowed to treat a problem with the right medicines, you tend not to learn about that problem. You focus on the problems you can treat. So family doctors, who should be the front line in the diagnosis and treatment of ADD, mostly didn't know much about ADD. I never learned about ADD until I'd been a doctor for over 30 years. So the other problem with medicines is they were slow acting. Medicines originally were mixtures, but mixtures in deteriorated too quickly, so they started to make everything as tablets or capsules. But when you swallow a tablet or a capsule, it takes half an hour to an hour to go right down your stomach and start to get absorbed and start to help you, and 1 to 2 hours to work strongly. And half an hour to an hour is too slow for many mental health problems and addiction problems. Sorry, I'm having difficulty with the technology. I'll try to sort it out and then start again.